Hi Libra, Aries season. So all information to work with me is below, including the extended, which I highly recommend viewing. I didn't really promote them vocally much, but now I want to because I recognize how much more space is held, how much more we can really see, and how much detail comes out of them, even if it's in a more artistic, poetic way, which you will maybe receive more of moving forward. These transits are really helping the roots that have been dormant for a while come back. I think you noticed that for sure. And I've noticed that even more, each title becomes a story. So there's a storyline kind of evolving through the signs even more as we shift, because we are shifting. It's a very obvious thing for some of us. For others, it just looks like doom. And I think that you know that because as someone who sees the duality and understands the duality, the more you're exposed to it, the more that you see it in the life around you, especially as a Libra. Libras need the universal signs. It's very clear that that's a big part of the way that you learn. Now, the nodes are shifting into Libra and Aries too. We'll obviously get more into all of that in the second part, again, which is in the link below. Okay. Some things, this is obvious renegotiation, look at that. Some things that you've held on to in terms of value, what you value, how you use money, how you manage your time, that's changing again. The waves in the background really draw me in, as well as, because look at how up front these two are, but in the back, let's call it the subconscious, there's life growing from the physical life to the life under the sea that we can't see, right? So if two of these pentacles totally went out of your view, like this one, you can't really see he can't see that. He just knows it's there. So whatever you're renegotiating or juggling at this time or wanting to manage things differently, I'd say it's a great time to do all of that. Especially before or as, the eclipse comes up. You're also getting a really obvious view of what you no longer need to think about and do. So there's some skills you've acquired. There's some which have quite a lot of value to them, especially to what you're thinking about moving forward with, what you're thinking about renegotiating, what you're thinking about doing, because if you do less of this, you can do more of that. And that's kind of what you're learning at this time. Also for Libra, I apologize, I didn't mean to say that. But yeah, no, we'll say it. For Libra risings especially, I think that the way that you manage your time is going to change a little bit more. The way that because time is a value, it is a resource, right? So that may be changing a lot. And here we have two kings that come out. So the King of Wands and the King of Pentacles. What it's showing you is what has, for lack of a better word, dominated your mind for so long. What's dominated the reason for these values, or what you've seen other people do and get where maybe perhaps you want to go. But it's going to look different now. You understand that it's not going to be the same route nor the same timing. Nothing about what anyone else or anything about comparing at all in your life. When you find yourself comparing, I'm speaking to myself here, or just subconsciously it arises, I want you to take times and really practice. You don't have to, but I really want you to. Seeing envy or jealousy or these comparisons of what you want, or they're coming up because it's what you thought you want and now you no longer realize it's what you want or you need. What you need and what you want is making its way towards you, especially what you need to get what you want. But you don't know what you want until you get really clear about what you want, as opposed to what other wants were imposed on you, you imposed on yourself, all of those things. you're beginning to understand that the value to what you know and to what you can control is becoming and evolving. I will take all of them. It's going from a lot of ego here. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing either. It's just a lot of ego with like, why are you doing this? Like, does it even make sense what you're doing right now? Or are you just doing it because, well, you can, and that's what's been shown to you, even in the spiritual world? Just seen a lot and felt a lot, and now you're realizing how much you need to shift that way of thinking or that way of being and that way of exposing yourself. Sorry. This is about the action, the rising action in your life. The moment where you really face yourself, where Aries season's like, okay, Libra, we're moving into the nodes now. And if we really want this, and I know you know this, but now I'm saying it, and I think it's like even more potent because I finally come to terms that we need to face ourselves. Not that we're not amazing, but there's some things you need to face about your ego. Because you can't just go around here, or you can't keep, okay, so let's take this into another view too. You can't just keep shooting yourself in the foot. I used that for someone else too. And last time I didn't mess up. But it's also about you watching people do it. Because there's a part of you that sometimes doesn't know how to provide your knowledge, especially if you're hurt or have been hurt, without a little extra sass or judgment. I could feel like judgment. If only everyone can see how much they judge as opposed to you, we'd be having a different conversation. I'm sorry, hold on one second. Okay. Cat talk. What's beautiful about this is that it happens kind of in just what feels like it's something you've been waiting for, and it happens quickly. What happens quickly is how quickly you adjust, right? The action and how quickly you adjust. And the action is most likely within yourself, but it's also affected possibly the people around you. You know, forgive yourself. There's a forgiveness here too. This temperance comes in to say that everything you've experienced is valid. You've had dominant figures in your life show you something, but you realize it's just not working for you. And you've known this and you've explored this, but you haven't wholeheartedly jumped into it. And now we're in the season of the Fool, the season of the Emperor. Let's go, right? Let's go into it. What you really want is important. But how you get there is less important. As long as you're learning and growing, why do you need to go and do and be a certain thing to get there? It's not like that for everybody. And it's not like that for you right now. It's about you making this decision for yourself. You creating this vision for yourself. This experience of seeing what could be has a gratification from the part of you that you're experiencing this subconscious rebirth, this subconscious obstacle, this course of life, right? It doesn't end. Just saying. You have filled a lot of cups, and it's time to acknowledge that. But you also have to acknowledge that you're never doing anything alone. Even if there's no physical people around you helping you, you're never doing it alone. That even though some of the lessons that you've learned from people are a little backwards, she really likes flowers. Hey, what are you doing? I'm sorry. Adventurous and exploring. She's just exploring, you know? And it's time for you to explore. It's time for you to explore who you are when certain wants aren't met because needs are more important now. It's time to explore who you are when you're not fulfilling not only a self-fulfilling prophecy, but what you realized was maybe for someone else. If you're someone who has gained a lot of resources, don't just throw them away because you have them. Still utilize in a way in which you're not just doing it out of pure ego or because you can. Right? Think about the impact. Not that you never do, but this is more important in any place in your life right now. Think about the impact. Think about the impact of yourself, the commitment of yourself, what you want to commit to, what decisions you want to make. Let yourself be up in the air a little bit this month. Let yourself see beyond what's already in front of you. See what's in front of you though, but don't get caught there. I think for a while there's been a lot going on, and now you're finally at this place where maybe you've been missing or has been lost for a while, and now you're realizing that everything's okay and you still want to let go. You still need to let go, to explore, to have the other options. Letting go of this could feel like a loss until you come to the realization that this is only for your benefit. And with almost no hesitation. See how I hesitated there? Don't let yourself hesitate. You may also have people in your life who may just want to be giving you energy, and you can accept it or not, be around it or not. I don't think it's really going to affect you as much unless you're in a place where you're taking certain things personal, because usually when someone is going through something, you can tend to take certain things a little bit more personal. I don't see that being such a problem for you, for most of you out there, but I do want to reiterate that this month very clearly spells out for you that just because you're moving on or expanding your vision while taking care of very physical, very real things at the same time doesn't mean what you've already done has been lost or is being put on the back burner. It's just being able to move right now. It's moving on its own, so you don't need to worry about it too much. where your focus is a really important thing for you this month, right? Very important. And the Emperor is just staring right at me. Is like, you can have control. You just can't really decide what you have control over just yet. You have all of this, but there's this balance of your emotions. That's the most important thing, is to reconnect with that and learn from that right now as you act upon what's important for you. Because you'll find that even though you're out here looking amongst life's vastness, that it can feel a lot safer to be here. It makes more sense. But then you realize how to fuse that together. How to carry that on with you. And that a lot of it's already been here, but it's now you're really seeing it for what it is. And for what it's not. Okay? And any of these people in your life, these people, if they are people, they're only here to be a guiding force. Because they understand more than you about what you're going through. And it's okay that someone knows more than you about what you're going through. How do you think you get there? I mean, I'm just saying. We'll get into the next part. Everything's below, and we'll see you next month.